Hey there. I'm so glad you're here today. Now let's talk about something we've all been told a million times. The key to keeping your home organized is to buy more bins, more baskets, and more labels. But what if that advice is actually making things worse? I used to fall into the same trap. I kept buying storage containers, thinking that would solve my clutter problem. But instead of fixing things, I just ended up with more stuff and more stress. The house felt chaotic, and honestly, so did my mind. Today, I want to share with you 12 simple habits that actually work, no complicated systems or expensive storage solutions needed. These are real practical tips that I've tested over the years, and they've truly made a difference in my home. And the first one, I haven't folded my pajamas in over 15 years, and guess what? My laundry has never piled up since. Intrigued? Let's dive in. Number 1 on the list. Stop buying more bins and start focusing on what you already have. We've all been there, buying endless bins, baskets, and organizers, thinking they'll magically fix the clutter in your home. But after a while, those containers just end up overflowing, and the chaos remains. So how do you break this cycle? Instead of adding more clutter in the form of storage, start by actually using what you already have. Take a moment to assess your space and focus on what you truly use. You don't need extra bins or complex storage systems. The goal is to assign everything a clear, specific place and make a habit of putting things back immediately after you use them. For example, rather than buying a new bin for your kids' toys, try designating a shelf or drawer they can easily access. Let them be responsible for putting their toys away. It's a simple habit, but it saves you time in the long run and teaches your kids good organizational habits. This approach will not only save you money, but it'll also keep your space from being filled with things you don't need. The more consistent you are, the easier it will be to maintain a tidy home with less stress. I'll be continuing to share more practical tips in my video tomorrow, so don't miss out on that. Stay tuned for how you can stop overthinking your decluttering process and make it a lot easier. Now that you've cut down on the clutter from unnecessary storage bins, let's talk about another common habit that keeps homes messy: putting things down instead of away. How many times have you dropped your bag on the chair, tossed your keys on the kitchen counter, or left the mail piled up on the table? It might seem like a small thing, but those little moments add up quickly, and before you know it, your entire home becomes a dumping ground. Instead of putting things down wherever is convenient, make it a habit to put them away immediately. It only takes a few extra seconds, but those seconds will save you hours later on and keep your space feeling calm and organized. For example, when you come home, instead of leaving your purse or jacket on the couch, hang it up in the designated spot by the door. When you take off your shoes, put them directly in the closet, not by the door. These small actions create a huge impact over time. By doing this, you're setting yourself up for success by avoiding the buildup of clutter. Plus, you'll feel less stressed when you enter a space that's neat and tidy, rather than feeling overwhelmed by things left out everywhere. Now that you've mastered the art of putting things away immediately, let's tackle another common habit that can leave your home feeling cluttered: the habit of holding on to things just in case. Next. How many times have you kept something because you think, "I might need this someday"? You know, that old sweater you haven't worn in years, or the random gadgets in your drawer just in case they come in handy one day. It's a habit that fills your space with unnecessary clutter, and it's hard to break. But here's the thing: the longer you hold on to things just in case, the more your home fills up with stuff you don't truly need. Instead, ask yourself, do I really use this? Will I actually need it in the near future? For example, if you've got a pair of shoes you haven't worn in a year, but you keep them just in case, let them go. If you haven't touched that old blender in months, it's time to part with it. If you haven't used that broken stapler in 3 years, well, I'm sorry, but you're never going to need it again. I know one day it could come in handy for that DIY project, but let's be real, it's been gathering dust for years. It's time to set it free. By letting go of items you don't use or need, you'll free up space in your home and your mind. Plus, you won't feel like you're living in an episode of Hoarders anymore. Trust me, your future self will thank you when you don't have to sift through piles of someday junk. Now that you're clearing out the just-in-case clutter, let's move on to another important habit, failing to give everything its own home. Have you ever spent 10 minutes looking for something like your keys, your phone, or even a single sock? Because of course, socks are always lost in pairs. It's frustrating, right? And that's because when things don't have a home, they just wander off and hide. It's like they have a secret life of their own, and you're the last to know about it. The simple fix: give everything a home. Yep, it's that easy. When you have a designated place for your things, you won't waste time hunting for them, and your home will feel instantly more organized. And here's the kicker: it doesn't need to be fancy. A simple basket by the door for your keys, a drawer for your mail. The key is consistency. For example, create a command center near the door for keys, wallets, and sunglasses. Every time you walk in, you know exactly where to drop your stuff. This makes it so much easier to leave the house in a hurry without frantically searching for your keys in the morning, or at least it'll make one part of your morning a little less chaotic. Having a place for everything helps your mind feel less cluttered too. It's one less thing to stress about, and you won't feel like your house is a game of Where's Waldo with all your belongings. Plus, your future self will thank you when you're not running around looking for your phone every time you're late for a meeting. Now that everything has its own spot, let's move on to a common habit that really adds to the clutter: not letting go of sentimental items. We all have that one drawer, or let's be honest, probably several filled with sentimental items. Old concert tickets, that sweater you haven't worn since high school, or the birthday card from a friend that you can't bear to throw out. These items often carry emotional weight. But here's the thing: keeping them isn't always helping you hold on to those memories. Sometimes it's just creating unnecessary clutter. The trick here is to curate your sentimental items, not hoard them. You don't need to keep every single thing from your past to remember it. Start by choosing the items that truly matter to you, the ones that hold real meaning, and let go of the rest. It's not about forgetting the memories, it's about keeping only the ones that make you feel good. For example, if you have a box full of old birthday cards, go through them and keep only the ones that really stand out. Maybe a card from your best friend or a meaningful note from a loved one. For the rest, it's okay to recycle them. They've already done their job by making you smile when you received them, and now it's time to free up space. This process isn't about getting rid of everything, but it's about making room for new memories without being weighed down by the past. And let's be real, you're not going to look through a stack of old birthday cards every year, right? By doing this, you'll create a home that feels light, where memories are celebrated without taking up unnecessary space. With that sentimental clutter cleared out, let's move on to another habit that often keeps us stuck in a cluttered home: buying things you don't need, just because they're on sale. Next, how many times have you bought something just because it was on sale, even though you didn't need it? Maybe it's a cute mug you didn't need, or a jacket that's now buried in your closet. We've all been there. The excitement of a great deal can be irresistible, but it often ends up contributing to more clutter in your home. The trick is to ask yourself, do I actually need this? Or am I just buying it because it's a bargain? A sale doesn't automatically mean you should buy something. Instead, focus on purchasing things that truly serve a purpose or bring value to your life, not just things that seem like a good deal in the moment. For example, I recently passed on buying a new set of plates at a big sale. I realized we already have a perfectly good set, and adding more would just create unnecessary clutter. So instead of falling for the sale trap, I saved that money for something that I actually needed, like a new set of kitchen towels. By breaking the habit of impulse buying, you'll notice that you're not only saving money, but you're also keeping your home free from unnecessary items that just collect dust. Plus, it's a great feeling to stop feeling guilty about items you don't need taking up precious space in your home. This shift will not only keep your home tidier, but it will also shift your mindset toward thoughtful, intentional purchases. And trust me, it's a much more satisfying way to shop. Now that you've tackled the sales trap, let's talk about another simple yet powerful habit: making small daily decisions to avoid clutter buildup. One of the biggest mistakes I used to make was putting off small tasks thinking that I'd get to it later. But guess what? Later never came. Those small tasks piled up, and before I knew it, I was overwhelmed with clutter. The pile of laundry didn't shrink by itself, and neither did the stack of dishes. The key here is to make small decisions every day. Every time you use something, take a moment to decide whether it's staying or going back where it belongs. These small choices add up and prevent things from piling up into a bigger mess. It's like brushing your teeth, you do it every day to keep things from getting worse. For example, after you're done cooking, instead of leaving the dishes to soak overnight, clean them right away. If you have a stack of papers on your desk, take 5 minutes to sort through them before they become an overwhelming mountain. These actions only take a few minutes, but doing them consistently prevents clutter from building up in the first place. And let's not forget the power of a 10-minute tidy-up each night. It sounds simple, but it's incredible how much you can accomplish in just 10 minutes before bed. Plus, waking up to a tidy home feels like a breath of fresh air. By committing to these small daily habits, your home will stay organized and you won't feel the need to do a huge cleanup every weekend. It's about making it part of your routine so that clutter doesn't even have a chance to creep in. Now that you're making daily decisions to keep clutter at bay, let's move on to another habit that often gets in the way of keeping things tidy: not putting things back in their place immediately. As women, we often feel like we have to do it all. We clean, cook, manage schedules, run errands, and somehow we convince ourselves that if we want things done right, we have to do it ourselves. But here's the truth. Trying to handle everything on your own will only leave you feeling burnt out and overwhelmed. It's time to share the load. Don't be afraid to ask for help or delegate tasks. Whether it's your partner, kids, or even a friend, sharing responsibilities will not only give you some breathing room, but will also keep your home organized and running smoothly. It's amazing how much lighter you feel when everyone pitches in. For example, if you're always the one who manages the grocery shopping, ask your partner to pitch in by making a list or picking up a few items during the week. Or if your kids are old enough, let them take responsibility for putting away their toys or cleaning up after meals. When everyone helps out, it doesn't feel like such a huge task and the load becomes lighter. It's important to recognize that a clutter-free home is a team effort. By letting go of the idea that you have to do everything yourself, you'll create a healthier, more balanced environment for everyone. Plus, delegating tasks means you get to focus on what matters most, like relaxing and enjoying time with your family. Now that you're sharing the workload, let's move on to the next step: creating a designated space for everything. One of the biggest reasons homes get cluttered is because things don't have a place to go. We leave items on counters, tables, or chairs because we're not sure where they should go. Over time, that temporary spot becomes permanent and suddenly there's no clear place for anything. The simple solution is to give everything a home. When everything has a designated space, it's easier to put things away and easier to find them later. Plus, it makes cleaning and organizing much faster when you don't have to waste time wondering where things belong. It also prevents the feeling of being constantly overwhelmed by the mess because everything is where it should be. You'll feel more in control of your space and much less stressed about the clutter that keeps creeping in. For example, if your keys always end up on the kitchen counter, create a small tray or hook near the door just for them. Or if your mail piles up in the living room, designate a drawer or small basket for it. These small changes can make a huge difference in reducing clutter, and they'll help you stay on top of tidying up. The beauty of this system is that it can be as simple or as creative as you like, whatever works best for your space. Having a place for everything isn't about perfection, it's about creating a system that works for your lifestyle. It doesn't matter if it's a little unconventional, as long as it helps you maintain order in your home. The best part. It takes less time to keep things organized when they already have a place. Now that you've got everything organized with a designated spot, let's move on to a habit that can really help you stay on top of clutter: putting things away immediately. How many times have you said, "I'll just leave this here for now," only to forget about it until weeks later? We've all done it, setting down a jacket on the couch, leaving dishes in the sink, or dropping mail on the counter. But here's the catch: every time you put something down, instead of putting it away, you're inviting clutter to creep in. The best habit to get into is to put things away immediately. It only takes a few seconds, but the payoff is huge. When you make it a routine to put things where they belong as soon as you're done with them, you'll avoid piles building up in your home. Plus, the more you do it, the easier it becomes to maintain a tidy space. For example, when you take off your shoes, put them back in the closet, not by the door. If you bring in the mail, immediately sort through it and file it where it belongs, or toss what you don't need. Same goes for dishes. Rinse them and put them in the dishwasher straight away. It's a little effort up front, but it saves you so much time later. Think of it like a mini workout for your home. It only takes a second, but it adds up to big results. This habit prevents clutter from accumulating and gives you more control over your space. Plus, it's a small win every time you clear a surface or put something away. The more you practice this, the less overwhelming cleaning will feel. It helps you build momentum to keep everything in check. Now that you're putting things away immediately, let's move on to a simple but powerful habit: creating a memory box for sentimental items. Sentimental items are tricky. We all have things, cards, pictures, gifts that hold special meaning. And while it's great to hold on to those memories, keeping every single thing can easily lead to clutter. You don't need to keep everything to cherish the memories attached to them. The solution: create a memory box. This is a designated space for your most cherished sentimental items, the ones that truly bring you joy when you look at them. By curating your keepsakes, you can let go of the less meaningful items without feeling guilty. For example, instead of keeping every birthday card or random souvenir from vacations, choose a few that stand out the most to you. Maybe a card from a loved one that touched your heart, or a memento from a trip you took with friends. Put those in your memory box and let the rest go. It's like creating a personal treasure chest that holds only what's truly meaningful. Having a memory box helps you preserve important memories without taking up too much space. You'll be amazed at how freeing it feels to let go of the items that no longer serve a purpose, while still holding on to the memories that matter most. Now that you've created a designated space for sentimental items, let's move on to the next step: putting deadlines on decluttering tasks. If you're anything like me, you've probably set the goal to declutter multiple times, but never really got around to it. Why? Because without a deadline, it's easy to push things off, thinking, "I'll do it later," but later never comes. The trick is to put a deadline on your decluttering tasks. It might sound simple, but it works wonders. Set aside a specific time, like 30 minutes or an hour, to tackle one area of your home. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish when you have a set time limit. For example, instead of telling yourself, "I'll clean the whole kitchen one day," say, "I'm going to declutter the kitchen counters today, from 2000 nrn to 3 nrn p.m. This focused approach makes the task feel more manageable and less overwhelming. Plus, you'll actually finish it because there's a clear end in sight. You can even break your decluttering tasks down into smaller, bite-sized chunks. I'll tackle the pantry today, the fridge tomorrow, and the drawers next week. This helps you make progress without feeling like you need to do everything at once. Deadlines are key because they create urgency and turn a vague task into something actionable. And once you've decluttered that space, the feeling of accomplishment will motivate you to keep going. Now that you've set deadlines for your decluttering tasks, let's wrap up by talking about how to maintain your clutter-free home in the long run. So there you have it. 12 practical, easy-to-follow tips that will help you break free from the clutter cycle and keep your home organized without feeling overwhelmed. These simple habits, when applied consistently, will save you time, reduce stress, and make your home a more peaceful place to live in. Remember, decluttering doesn't need to be a huge, time-consuming task. It's about making small, everyday choices that prevent clutter from taking over. Start by incorporating just a few of these habits into your daily routine, and you'll notice a big difference. If you're looking for even more tips or want to dive deeper into specific areas of your home, I've got plenty more content coming your way. Don't forget to check out my other videos on how to declutter your living space and create systems that work for you. And if you found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who could use a little decluttering inspiration, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more practical, life-changing advice. Thanks for watching, and here's to a clutter-free, peaceful home.